Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hi, red.olaughlin here. Welcome to Talking Heads on USA Global TV and Radio Network. We're also seen on the E360 TV network, on Roku, on Amazon Fire, and many, many more. So if you can't catch us live on any of those, please go to YouTube on the USA Global TV channel and just go to playlists and you can find any archived item in there whatsoever for my show and all the other shows that are done every week. We started a new topic last week on how to help new authors get started. And in reality, the writing, most people think, oh, I can't write a book. It's too much. It's overpowering. It's a big problem. In reality, the writing is the easiest part of the entire thing. And it's really depending on what do you want. So if you ask yourself, why am I writing this book? What's my goal? If I'm a speaker and it's to establish credibility, great. If I just want to talk about my life as a memoir, great. If I want to help somebody improve their ability by writing a how-to book in a field that they might be interested in, great. But what's the real goal? One of the goals it's not is to make a lot of money. I'll guarantee that right now. Very few authors actually make a lot of money. And to me, a lot of money would be 4 figures a month, at least minimum. Now, can you make 3 figures a month? Probably. But most authors, even if they have multiple books, don't sell 100 books in their entire career. It's just that's the way things work. Some people have a book, boom, it's out, and that's it. But it's a combination of things. So you have a book you want to write. You want to be able to share some information, add some wisdom, add some personal experiences, entertain, whatever the reason. But who is your audience and how are you going to reach them? So you need a strategy. And when you start thinking about the strategy, it's usually, I get the book, it's almost done. I need somebody to read it. I need some editing. I need this, I need that. Well, when you start writing that, you have one train going down a track, you're writing. I have another train over here going down a track. It should be marketing. So you need to start marketing your book literally the same day you start writing your book. Why? Because if you get this train all the way up there to the station and it's stopped and it's ready to go, the book is sitting there on the front porch of your house, and now all of a sudden, how do I get rid of 100 books? How do I sell 100 books? Whatever. You've wasted months of your time in being able to let people know. So do you have a budget? Is the budget realistic for what you're doing? If you want to write a book for free, I have a book that I published on that. Just go to my website, red.olaughlin.com, or go to YouTube, go to Amazon, and it goes through the entire thing of how do you write the book? How do you get everything done for free? Very definitive, not a problem, there to help. But if you don't want that particular option, there are others. And so, okay, I need to pay for a cover. I need to pay for proofreader. I need to pay for whatever those things may happen to be. Okay, so recognize that you may have a budget. What is a realistic budget? Well, I think realistically under $1,000 is realistic. If you're going to have somebody publish the book for you, that may be a different animal. Those traditional ways of doing things are not necessarily the easiest to get. A lot of rejections in that area. If you're going to self-publish yourself, it's basically free. But there's a fair amount of formatting. There's a fair amount of things that need to be done. But so you have a budget. When do you want the book done? Well, if you're starting today, is a year from now realistic? Let's say you're writing a book on Alzheimer's, and I don't know right now, maybe it's October, I can't remember, but there's a National Alzheimer's Month, a National Alzheimer's Day. So if you look at what is the genre, what is the topic that you're writing on, maybe there's a national holiday or national week, national month that would coincide with that particular book of yours that says, okay, I have 9 months and here is national whatever week, and that's when I want to be able to have my book launch. Okay, so now you know how much money you're going to spend, how much time you need to get done to have the published book. Right now, I'll tell you, make sure that you back up at least minimum 4 to 6 weeks from that date. So if you're, let's say it's October 1st, your book really and truly needs to be done, finished, everything, middle of August. Now, why? Because there's too many things that happen at the last minute when you're, especially if you're doing it for free from by yourself. Okay, all of a sudden you get the cover, it doesn't fit right. There's something wrong with the formatting. I can't get this done. One thing goes to another, and before you know it, there's 7 days gone. There's another week gone. If you plan on everything and the book is arriving for your first book signing or author event, or maybe some other event that you're participating in, and the books don't get there in time, lots of things can happen. So give yourself that extra 30 days minimum that you actually have the books, everything is ready. You can be doing all sorts of other things, but make sure that's part of your strategy to get everything in a timely manner. Okay. So now that I want to start my marketing campaign, the same time I'm starting my writing campaign, I take a look at what is the topic. How can I get this information out to other people? Well, what kinds of social media are your audience or your readers looking at? You know, there are certain things, depending on what they are, where Instagram is a better source of social media than Facebook or LinkedIn. Uh, there are things that you can go and do your research and say, what is the best social media for this genre, for this category of book, and find out where they are. Start getting yourself a presence known. People who have other books in that same field, look at their Instagram accounts. What kinds of things are they doing? If they're on Facebook, what kinds of things are they doing on Facebook to let the world know? Now, big mistake a lot of people make on social media is, I have this book for sale. I have this book for sale. So 9 times out of 10, you're telling the world you have a book for sale, where it should be 1 time out of 10, you say, I have this book for sale. In other words, don't go in there selling. Go in there and provide information, value, wisdom on what's going on. So you can have a situation where, let's say you have a Facebook account and you let the world know, hey, I'm writing a book today. I'm going to write a book on gardening for a particular kind of, I happen to have plumerias. That's one of the flowers I like a lot. There are a lot of different plumeria groups in Facebook. There's so much information out there, lots of photos, lots of everything. But let the world know, hey, I'm writing a book today on raising plumerias. People now know that, and you've also held yourself accountable. You put a line in the sand, I'm writing a book. At some point in time, you got to say, I plan on releasing this book for Thanksgiving, Black Friday, whatever it is that's out there, Christmas. Go ahead and make yourself accountable. Now you have told people that you're writing a book, and you're writing a book that's going to be delivered on a certain time. Now that puts the pressure on you. Well, what can you do with the social media? Well, let's say I'm writing a particular one on fertilizing. Well, put out some flyers out there. Say, you know, this is what I use to fertilize my plants. What do other people do? Getting some feedback. You're getting some interest in what you're doing with other people. So you can take those little vignettes and put them together. You can also do the same thing on YouTube. Start yourself a YouTube channel. Do a 30-second interview of yourself. You know, who am I? What am I doing? Why am I writing this book? And then go out and hold up one of your flowers and say, you know, this is whatever. And this is the way you start to, and just begin to have a little conversation with the world. And that's all it is a conversation. You're letting the world know who you are, what you're doing, and why you're doing it. So now I can have my marketing campaign starting down this road. I have my writing campaign starting down this road. And they should be getting together where you have a full book launch, everything released at that time that you promised the world. Okay. What do you need with regard to, okay, the book is getting near finished here. I got 3 chapters of my 5 chapters done. Do you have any beta readers? A beta reader is somebody who reads and gives you feedback. Maybe what you want to do is one of the things I do periodically on my book releases, a lot more before COVID than after, and I probably need to start that up again, is I have people come over to the house, usually 5, 6, 7 people, a couple nights in a row, and I hand out random chapters and a red pen, and we have about 30 minutes of just social get together. Then everybody gets a different place, sits down, and for the next hour, 90 minutes, they read through things. They finish 2 or 3 or 4 chapters. They write up. All I'm interested on my books is there something there that doesn't make sense? I write a lot on health and wellness, some fairly technical topics. So I'm looking for what is difficult for people to understand. And I say, if you don't understand it, circle it. If it's a word, if it's a sentence, if it's the whole paragraph, circle it. So I get feedback from different people, not people who wouldn't necessarily be my readers, but just people in general, all sorts of different people. So I get 10, 20 sets of eyeballs looking at these things, and it gives me immediate feedback on how well things are done. One of the first times I ever had that done, one of the comments back was, "You use the word if a lot. Why don't you consider using when?" And that's probably some of the best feedback I've ever gotten from an audience reading my book. I use if a lot. If this happens, if that happens. Well, if something happens, that's a different comment. That's a different impact to the brain as if it when this happens. And so I went through, and I think I had 84 ifs, and I changed 80 of them to when because of the nature of what I was trying to get across. So there's a lot of little things that can be done with different kinds of strategy. But if I'm going to have a strategy to have a beta reader, or I'm having people come over to the house to read my deals, or I send them out in email, I need their feedback back within a certain period of time. So give them 96 hours, whatever it is, to do something. If they come over to your house, serve something nice for them to eat and drink while they're there doing that. Also offer to give them a free book signed or whatever. Lots of things you can do. But with regard to the getting that information out, let's say I just interviewed a guy on the Wise Ones on the USA Global TV and Radio Network, and he has a website and a book called Passion Struck. And we talked a little bit about how he got that title, but first thing that they did was that book title available as a URL for a website. So if you have a book title that you want to have as a website, well, that's a cost. That's a time issue. So it's a budget thing. You now need to make sure, is that available? Well, if it is available, great. If it's not available, is there something out there close to it? Do you need to have your own name, like red.olaughlin? Do I need a red.olaughlin.com? Well, in my case, I do. And that's what I use because I put all my books and everything under that brand of red.olaughlin. So are you going to brand your name? You're going to brand some aspect of the book you're writing? Are you going to brand the name of your book? What do you need to know about branding? A lot of stuff out there can help you, but you should get started as soon as you can. So if you know in your strategy, I want a brand, or I'm going to brand myself, let's make that understood very, very easily up front, because now, okay, I need a red.olaughlin.com website. Okay, well, let me go get one. Or a Red O'Laughlin author website, or the red.olaughlin.com. So I need something out there that I'm going to be able to market my product. So if my goal is to make some money, credibility, I probably need a website to go with that. If my goal is I just want to leave a memoir for my kids, family, friends, then I'd maybe not need a website. They just go to Amazon and buy it as they need. So depending on what your strategy and your goal is, they need to kind of align a lot. The social media that you choose, if you're putting everything on LinkedIn and it should be on Facebook, take a look at what the other authors are doing. Are they big in a particular aspect of social media? Do they have their YouTube channels? What are they doing to market themselves, and try to mimic that same thing? Align yourself with the successful people out there already. So I have a launch date that I want to be able to physically have books that I can sell at a local event, at my whatever that I have that's coming up, and at the same time be able to take a look at those, incorporating. There are several places around here. One of our local stores, Kroger's, has an authors group, so I can sell my books at Kroger's. The ISBN on the back of the book, that long number, is actually registered in the Kroger's account. They run the thing through the machine, rings up right then and there, boom. And so I have the ability to take and use a local grocery store to have my own nights at grocery, or afternoons at Kroger's, talking to people as they go by, talking about my books, having copies there. And so there are lots of different ways that I can get that information out. Maybe I have a speaking engagement and I can get around to other areas. I have books that I can use. Let's say I'm going to a networking meeting and they have door prize. Why not offer to have an autographed copy of your book as a door prize that day? So you're getting visibility, and the cost of the book is relatively little compared to the cost of that recognition of being able to say, hey, I'm an author, here's my book, I'll autograph it for whoever wins the door prize for that day. If you're a member of a professional group, accounting, whatever it is, they have meetings periodically. Find out, are you allowed? Like, I'm a distinguished Toastmaster. Sometimes you find them at various events where they have their books for sale. So there's lots and lots of different ways you can do it, but look around and see what is there and what do you need to do in order to do that. So I got myself lined up with the date that the book's going to be published. I need the books physically in my custody. I need them available on Amazon. I need to let people know how they can get them. And I also need to start getting some reviews. So as I'm looking at my beta reviewers, do I have people out there, an email list, that I know that if I sent a book to, let's say, the owner of the show here, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, and I said, Dr. Jacqueline, I really need you to take a look at my book and give me an honest review. So I will buy a copy of the book for you, probably an ebook, send it to you. And if you would take the time to read through the book and give me an honest review, here is a link that will give you right straight to the page where my author account is on Amazon, and I get a review for that book. So I need a lot of sales for my book to be a #1 bestseller. I also need a lot of reviews. So do you have a half a dozen, 2 dozen people that you could spend a little bit of money buying an electronic book, 99 cents, $1.99, $2.99, let's say $3 or less. Say maybe your budget is $40 for marketing or whatever. Okay, that might be the books, and I buy $20 worth of books and I send them as gifts and ask them to review the book. Here's the link to post that review. But these are all parts of things that you need to be thinking about as you're starting your writing. That, one hand is your marketing campaign, the other hand is your writing campaign. So you're sitting there writing, the other one is sitting there marketing. And those are things that if you wait until it's a month to go, I'm getting ready to have a first author show, and you've wasted 8 or 9 or 10 months that people don't know what you're doing, that is very, very difficult to overcome. Not insurmountable. A lot of people do it. But if you're going to have a strategy about doing it, sit down and actually, okay, fine. Money, time, and what absolutely positively has to be done by certain time. Another thing you might want to consider, if you don't have a website, is having a landing page. It's basically a one-page website that can be done pretty inexpensively, but you send people there, you have a business card or whatever, you put it on your social media. And those are things that you can uh, now send people to, where they go there, they click on that, and it takes them straight to buy the book. If there's any other kinds of things that you want to have that can be linked into that same landing page, well, that's another thing to have. Do you need an email list? That's another one. Maybe the purpose of what you're having is to expand your business for future projects. So I have a book I'm writing, and maybe it's 3 different books. So here's the first book, but I have the second and third book. They'll be coming out in the fall, next spring, whatever. And as you're getting people interested in what you're having, you're saying, okay, facial on your Facebook page or LinkedIn page, here's my email. Please contact me if you're interested in this kind of information. And you start an email list. So you start with 12, then 24, friends, family, whatever, and then other people who have a genuine interest in that particular topic. So as you're looking at the way you're taking your marketing program, some ways of marketing are absolutely free. Other ways, well, I never thought about that. And well, if you think about it, ask other people. If there's another author in a similar area, how do you get started? What did you do to get a #1 ranking or whatever? And you'll find that authors are very, very, they want to share information. They're proud of what they have. One of the things I learned very quickly early on is covers. What I like as a cover as an author is not what readers look at. So the readers are going to have a different opinion. I got 5 different covers done, $5 a piece on Fiverr.com. And so I said, A or B on Facebook. Okay, well, C or D. And the feedback I got was the one cover that I really liked a lot, nobody cared for. The cover I could care less about was, oh, it's neat, it's okay. Everybody loved it. And so that I thought was, oh, that's a big eye opener. I didn't know that. So if you're going to get something done, okay, marketing, maybe I need $50 for cover designs. Well, $50 is going to cover one book. If you're going to go to a place like Fiverr.com, $40 probably realistic. But maybe I need an extra $25, $30 for comparison shopping, A versus B, B versus C. Now you're getting some feedback from your audience of potential buyers. And that's super critical. So those are things that need to be considered as you're putting those things up there. And once you get your cover and people like it, and that's what you hone in on, put it on your email at the bottom of your email. Everybody sees anytime you send out an email, there's free advertising for you. So I know one of the people have at the bottom of their email, this book, here's it, link. So for every book they have, you send an email out. You have no idea if somebody's going to want something, but you give them the link right then and there to go to your website to buy the book, or they go to Amazon to buy the book. Makes a lot of sense. So as you're putting together your goal and your strategy, make sure there's linkages all the way down with regard to how am I going to achieve that goal. If I want to sell 100 books a month, not unrealistic. You have to have a realistic way of getting to a number of people where 100 will actually buy. The USA Global TV and Radio Network has a YouTube channel right now. I know if our production engineer will put the flyer on the crawler at the bottom of the page. Yes, we talked about that. 30. Wow, that's a pretty big jump. But anyway, we're asking people to go out and subscribe to this new YouTube channel. And it's there at the bottom, youtube.com. But we're looking for 100,000 subscribers. It was not difficult to get that on the first one, but this will be the second YouTube channel, and we're trying to get to 100,000. So that's one of the, for our community here within the USA Global TV and Radio Network, whatever we can do to help them. So here today, that's the one you need to look at. And I think I'm getting ready to end up. So we're going to take a look next week. I'm going to go into a lot of detail with regard to how can I find some of the information with regard to, well, how did that person do that? What makes sense? So next week, I'm going to put together a little video and hopefully be able to put that out for the world and let them see what's going on. So with that being said, I am going to bid adieu, and we'll catch you all next week. Take care. Bye now. Right.